Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm Beth Demon here again with the San Diego Brewers Guild weekly Instagram happy hour at home, Instagram live check-in. So thank you so much for joining us. We do this every week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. If this is the first time you are joining us, we tend to just check in with a couple different breweries, brewery owners, beer personalities. We've got a podcaster today, just to see how everybody's kind of handling COVID-19, how things have changed, how their operations have changed, how we can support them, what we can do for local beer, everything like that. So thank you for joining us. This is a big news week. I think it's a little bit crazy that the Pentagon has admitted that UFOs are real. And that's not a much bigger deal. So if any of my guests today would like to chime in on that, I am just itching to talk about how aliens are real and possibly also ghosts. So let's just crack a beer and see where the day takes us. I've got the Fall Plenty for All Pilsner. I'm sorry, I did tell Jonathan from Thunderhawk that I would be sharing a Normcore Pilsner from Burning Beard with him. But since one of our guests today is from Burning Beard, I thought I would just keep things a little bit, give everybody a little bit of love. So I stuck with a Pilsner. Never a bad choice. Real quick, I am supposed to do a new thing today where I pin a comment. Long story short, I'm just going to do something real quick so that people who are joining us know what the hell it is I'm talking about. So this is the San Diego Brewers Guild at home happy hour. I wanted to make sure I got it right. I'm a slow typer. Happy hour. And let's see if I can pin that comment. Thank you for bearing with me. Oh, I think I did it right. Hooray! Okay, so now if you're just joining us, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yay! Quick update. So we've got some great people today, as we always do, of course. We have Booze Brothers, Owl Farm, and the current San Diego Brewers Guild president, Chris, is going to be joining us first off. Then we've got Tim and James from Chula Vista Brewery. Then, of course, we have the wonderful Jeff from Burning Beard out in El Cajon. And we're going to wrap things up later today with the Beer Night in San Diego podcast, San Diego's longest running beer podcast, where you can listen to it anywhere podcasts are available. So that'll be Cody. Another little bit of news. Tomorrow is my birthday, so any tributes of, barley wine or barrel-aged goodness will be accepted at any time. So go ahead and just chime in if you are interested in making a almost 35-year-old's, day. And let's see. Let's try this Pilsner real quick. Surprising no one, it is tasting really amazing, even though it's finally not hot as balls outside today. Let's go through some of the resources, because we are all here to figure out how we can support the local San Diego beer community. Obviously, the Brewers Guild has a ton of resources, so I encourage everybody to tune into sdbeer.com to look at who's open, to see who's doing to-go, delivery, who's doing collaborations, anything like that. I know that one big collaboration that's going to be coming out really soon is the All Together collaboration beer. I know a bunch of places are doing it, Resident, Latchkey. I saw that North Park Beer Companies is coming out kind of soon. So, keep an eye out for the All Together collaboration beers that are coming out, because that is to raise money for hospitality workers that have been affected by COVID-19. And obviously, working in the beer industry, we all know a ton of people who have been affected. So every little bit helps. I encourage you to check that out. Reaching out with some news from the Brewers Association. Later this month, it's going to be American Craft Beer Week, which is going to look a little bit different. But, if you start looking at the hashtag Give Craft Beer, They're encouraging breweries nationwide to really focus specifically on purchasing from your local independent breweries, which of course the Brewers Guild also encourages. So please go to sdbeer.com to see who your local brewery guild members are and how you can support them, whether it be ordering beer delivery, beer pickup, merch, gift cards, whatever you can. I know that those stimulus checks are hitting people's checking accounts, so please do try to make a concerted effort to shop local, shop small, shop independent, and shop SD beer. Let me see. If you are a brewery or a brewery employee, brewery owner, beer fan, hospitality worker, anything like that who has been furloughed or laid off or otherwise negatively affected by COVID-19, please do check out CaliforniaCraftBeer.com as well as SDBeer.com for state resources as well as local resources. There's really great stuff on the Brewers Guild website that isn't just financial help or economic help, which of course everybody needs, but there's some really good mental health resources as well. So if you are struggling with isolation or quarantine, or drinking a little bit more than you feel you want to be doing while we're shut up in the shelter at place, please do check those out. There's a lot of help out there for you, and I think that it would be great for people to take advantage of that, because everybody keeps saying we're all in it together, and that is of course correct. So before I bring on our first guest, if anybody has a question during these live stream interviews, like I said, please do feel free to comment. We will try to get to you as quickly as possible. It's really great to see everybody who has joined us. I see some familiar names and some new names, so I appreciate everybody tuning in to these weekly happy hour Instagram lives. I think they're really great. I've been having a lot of fun doing them. It's been awesome talking to people, friends, as well as old friends as well as new friends in the San Diego beer scene. So I've been able to talk to a couple people that I didn't know before, and a couple people that I know and love, and that's no different for today. Like I said, first up, we're going to have Chris from Booze Brothers and Owl Farm. Then we're going to get Tim and James from Chula Vista Brewery. Then wrap up the brewery guests with Jeff from Burning Beard. And then end the segment with Cody from Beer Night in San Diego podcast. So I love that everybody's chiming in with what they're drinking, what their favorite places are, and everything like that. So please keep those comments coming. We really appreciate them, and they make this a lot of fun, especially when we bring the guests on. So I guess without further ado, one other thing I should mention, if you do go to sdbeer.com, one really great way to help support the local beer community is checking out the brand new merch that they have. I wore my shirt last week, but I decided to go for my, party shirt this week. I can't be caught in the same t-shirt 2 weeks in a row. That would be ridiculous. So anyway, sdbeer.com, they have some great new merch, support your local brewery, all about San Diego, and that those proceeds go directly to help the San Diego craft beer scene. So that's an easy way to help toss a little money towards the community without really having to leave your own home, because soon we won't be able to without wearing a mask at all, and that's really depressing. But I have been pleased that a lot more breweries have been getting on the bandwagon of making cool face masks. I think Three Punks was the first one to do it, but I've seen a couple other new good ones out there. So very chic, you guys. So let me see if Chris is ready for me to bring him on. Let's just see. Okay. Oh, I see you. It's but that's still pretty good. That's still pretty on time. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing today?
Good.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. You got a beverage, or am I drinking alone?
Yep, freshly canned Owl Farm beer, about an hour old.
Ooh, very good. Tell me about what you've got going on over there.
This is a lemon lime Berliner Weiss. So we actually had this scheduled to be brewed the day after the shutdown came into place. And we thought everything was just going to be completely dismantled. We didn't think we were going to be producing any beers after that. Obviously, it's been different. And we've had some decent luck with to-go sales and distribution sales. So we kind of put new beers back in the queue. So it's a lemon lime Berliner Weiss, 6%, and brewed with the Kveik yeast. And took about 2 weeks to brew, and we're pretty stoked on it. This is the label, a little bit closer.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, so kind of has a little bit of a tart Gatorade feel, if you will, but lemon lime. It's
Awesome.
perfect for the summer heat.
So let's backtrack real quick. Could you do a quick intro and tell us about the two brands that you are a part of?
Yeah, so I am co-owner of Booze Brothers Brewing Company. We've been around for a little over 6 years now. And about 2 years ago, we decided to start an offshoot brand called Owl Farm, which is kind of our fruity, funky, weird brand, if you will. So a lot of Gozas, Berliner Weisses, sours, a lot of fruit-forward beers. And that's kind of where we get a little bit more experimental. And we kind of wanted to do that so that we didn't make people think that everything we were doing under Booze Brothers was constantly weird and wacky. So Booze Brothers is kind of the IPA, stouts, American ales, all of that. And then Owl Farm is the weird and funky.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, are you still kind of full steam ahead as far as production, or what adjustments have you had to make just on the brewing side of things?
Yeah, so initially we kind of put everything on a halt, and we thought like that first week was maybe we're going to sell to-go beer, and then because everything was changing day by day, right, and everything seemed like it was getting shut down. So we didn't brew for about the first week and a half, but then once we kind of saw what was happening, we were getting a lot of support from people who were coming out and just buying our stuff. We put the tent out front of our Vista location and our Oceanside location. And then we kind of held back on distribution because we weren't sure what was going to happen with that. We are a self-distributed brand. But pretty quickly it became clear that people wanted to come out and support us. So we started brewing about a week and a half in. Batch sizes between 10 and 20 barrels normally. We just did our first 30-barrel batch during the shutdown the other day. And we have been moving than we have ever had before, which it's new and different for us, of course. But yeah, so we've been brewing 2 to 3 times a week now, and we have plenty of new styles coming out. We're also rebrewing some older styles that we already have artwork created for. A big thing right now is saving money wherever we can. So bringing back some beers that we had about a year ago, just so we don't have to pay for new artwork to be created for cans.
Well, and I would say, I mean, the Owl Farm stuff at the very least is super, super recognizable, specifically for the can art. Tell me a little bit about like kind of the weirdness and wackiness and psychedelic vibe that you guys put out with that, because I think it's really unique and really cool.
Thank you. So the artist is actually Clay Halling. He does all this stuff for Owl Farm. Our Booze Brothers artist is Ben Horton. But about 5 years ago, we started holding art shows at the brewery. And we do a different art show every single month. And the second artist we ever had in here was Clay Halling. And he came from Phoenix, Arizona. And I met him through the skateboarding industry and reached out to him and just said, hey, you want to do an art show here? Kind of a fun thing. Whatever you sell, you keep. And we stayed in contact from there. And when we were developing this new brand, his artwork was the first thing that came to my mind. All his stuff is weird. All of it's unique. And I knew him at that point, a couple years in, we had a friendly relationship. And I was like, you'd be perfect to work with on this kind of brand. So really colorful, really weird, easiest dude to work with. He actually does a lot of the artwork for the brand Beer Savage, if anyone knows what that is. And him and Beer Savage got linked up essentially through us. That's how they met originally. So, yeah, it's just a cool guy to work with. And we throw ideas out there, and basically we just say, here are the ingredients of the beer. What kind of unique thing can you draw up? And usually it takes them a few short days to throw something together.
Awesome. That's super cool. And I mean, I love that collaboration with art and beer, obviously, whenever that can happen. But so as from what I understand, you're the current president of the Brewers Guild. Is that right?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. So how have things just on that front changed for you? I mean, obviously everybody's kind of, there's pretty much no events happening right now or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. But how have you had to how have things kind of changed on that level?
Uh, I mean, drastically when it comes down to it. So, I mean, even board meetings are different. Everything that we're talking about is more, what are we going to do 6 months from now? What are we going to do a year from now type deal?
Mm-hmm.
Credit is deserved all to Paige when it comes down to it. She's definitely been spearheading everything for the guild and the board. I mean, she normally does, but now more than ever. One thing that's unique for all the board members, including myself, is we're really focusing on keeping our businesses afloat. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that's what everyone's doing on a normal basis, but it definitely, when everything came crashing down, it was really difficult for me to prioritize where do I put effort into the community, where do I put effort into
Mm-hmm.
our own businesses. And Paige stepped up more than ever and kind of really took a lead more than she ever has. So with that being said, her and I talk on, every day, every other day about bigger decisions being made down the road. I was the chair of Rhythm and Brews, and that was a conversation a
Mm-hmm.
bunch in the beginning of what happens with moving one of our biggest money making events for the guild to later on down the road into the year. Then it turned into, well, we're not going to do it this year. What are we going to
Right.
do next year? What happens if we don't? So I think the guild is in the same, or myself specifically is in the same boat as everyone, where it's really hard to make plans right now for anything too
Mm-hmm.
far in the future because there's so much uncertainty. But really just trying to keep a focus on what can we do when we're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So it's a weird spot as a president, I would assume. But thankfully, we have someone like Paige who kind of drives the ship more than anyone.
Yeah. Well, because I know that as far as I know, no, there's been no decision about Beer Week quite yet. Is that right?
No specific decisions. We're
Mm-hmm.
all aware that something's most likely going to have to change. We
Yeah.
know that tourism isn't going to be what it was for
Mm-hmm.
a while. I mean, even next year, it might be really odd. So, trying to find unique ways to handle Beer Week. I mean, and that whole thing is going to be different. And I wasn't actually a part of that committee,
Okay.
um, but obviously the board as a whole discusses that on a monthly basis. So
Mm-hmm.
there's been an internal talk of where we want to take it, but nothing to report as of now.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I always liked, or that I liked about like the last two beer weeks specifically, was bringing on those regional guilds as well. From
Mm-hmm.
TJ, from Orange County, from LA, and I think opening our doors to our neighbors in that way was a really nice redefinition of community and local. And I think we're going
Mm-hmm.
through something similar right now. Redefining what community is to us. During COVID-19. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been pleased with everything that the Brewers Guild has done so far. So
Oh, it's good to hear.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm anxious. I'm anxious to see what the rest of 2020, like you said, 2021 holds. But yeah, I don't think anybody's expecting it to be,
The
the
same.
regular. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And this whole thing, it's unfortunate for legitimately everyone. There is kind of that exciting factor of seeing what comes out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because we have such a resilient industry and such a creative industry, I expect to see a lot of breweries doing a lot of new, interesting things
Mm-hmm.
that I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of in other industries kind of adopted in their own way.
Right.
So I think alcohol has its place during an issue like this, and
Mm-hmm.
I think the majority of us should be able to make it through. I hope the
Yeah.
majority of us can make it through, but I think we all have to adapt appropriately, and that's breweries and the guild.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. So, real quick, just to wrap things up, where can people
Yeah.
find out everything, social media, everything Booze Brothers and Owl Farm?
Yeah, so Instagram is our big one, at Booze Bros for Booze Brothers, at Owl Farm Beer for Owl Farm. BoozeBros.com has the online store where you can order all of our beer online for pickup from our tasting room. Oceanside, you can pick up beer. We just don't have online ordering for that.
Mhm.
We are about to start our delivery service in about a week, and we're also going to be shipping beer throughout California shortly.
Awesome.
So, and then we're still distributing to any liquor store that carries us. So, I mean,
Mhm.
there are about, I would say, liquor store wise, about 75 accounts throughout San Diego who carry our packaged products.
Okay, so you should be relatively easy to find once you brave brave the outside.
Yep. From North County all the way down to South County, San Diego.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and
Yeah,
joining us today, and best of luck to you with everything.
no problem. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Cheers. All right, that was Chris from Booze Brothers and Owl Farm. We're going to keep it rolling with Chula Vista Brewery, who I love, has already requested to be in the video, so let's go ahead and add them. Yeah, that was great to get that insight from.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? I think James was trying to see James go or something like that.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. How's it going? And are you you're at the brewery right now?
Yes, I am.
Cool. Well, let's have a little intro to everybody watching.
All right, I'm Tim Parker, the owner of Chula Vista Brewery, and that ugly face behind me is James. He's our head brewer.
So what you're saying is this pandemic has done well for him because he can hide most of his face, like it's done him some favors.
Exactly.
All right.
It done me a favor. I get to hide it.
Oh, I can't imagine having a beard and the face mask. That just seems.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to get used to it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'd say that's the mantra. That's the mantra for right now. So how are you guys hanging in Chula Vista right now?
We actually been doing pretty good. We've just been canning and canning.
Just like everybody, I guess. Has you had any trouble like getting any cans or anything like that? I know that was like a big pain point for a lot of people.
We did in the beginning, but we so small that we were just able to, talk to Pacific Islander and other breweries that they hooked us up with some cans. So we was able to get things jump started until cans came in through the mail.
Yeah. How small is your system?
We only got, that's somebody making an online order.
Oh, hey, there you go. Cheers.
It's just, I know, cheers.
It's the best sound in the world right now.
Yeah, so we actually just have a 5 BBL system.
Okay.
So we was actually one of those tap rooms who was just mainly doing just straight out of the tap. And quickly had to switch over to canning and out of the door once the coronavirus happened. So
yeah.
But well, like I said, that was actually a good thing. So it taught us how to move forward. So it's not really a bad thing.
Well, one of the things that I have talked about a little bit in the past is I have a feeling that the people who are going to do best in this type of pandemic are the super huge mega breweries that have the capital to kind of keep going. And then the really small guys, you already have a skeleton crew. You're already kind of ready to be agile and pivot into new things and stuff like that because you've got a smaller system, you've got a smaller staff and things like that. So I feel like you might, it sounds like you're kind of able to do that, where you guys are and your size.
Exactly. So we was able to pivot really fast and pretty much make the best of what we have in this environment.
Yeah.
It's like what he said earlier. It's like a lot of people still want to drink. So
yeah.
Right. And us being a small brewery, we're not spending a lot of money to make something happen. So it gives us leeway to just quickly flex and do whatever we need to do. So.
Yeah, totally. And I talked to Steve-O at Three Punks, and I think one of the things that has always kind of impressed me about like that South Bay scene is just how totally not like insular in terms of like being exclusive, but you have such a strong, tight-knit local community down there. Like you live in Chula Vista, like you're drinking in Chula Vista, and have you kind of seen the neighborhood and community rally around you in that way, or has it even kind of opened it up and brought more new people in?
Well, before the coronavirus, it was like that. You brought a lot of. It's still tight knit, so we get a lot of support from our community. Even people that don't drink still come by just to check up on us. So, as far as the community goes, it's been great on how they keep supporting us. I mean, before the coronavirus, we were definitely starting to branch out a little bit, where a lot of people was hearing about us and was coming down. Um, every once in a while, we still get a few calls of people asking if we could deliver far out. Just like, I got a small electric car, man. I can't make it that far.
Yeah, fair
You
enough.
got to be within the window. So we still, the community is still supporting us, and we still covering all of Chula Vista, even out all the way out in East Lake. So,
Yeah.
and we pretty much been covering all the South Bay. So even IB and National City.
That's good because I mean, IB, they're thirsty, man. They had a bunch of stuff in the works, and I'm not sure what the what the process is, or what the progress has been for people like Hess and Coronado and like the very few people down there. But I've heard a lot of people, all the way down to San Ysidro. They're like, we're part of San Diego. Why aren't people bringing us beer? And so it's good to hear that they've got an option with you. So, but tell me about some of the types of brews that people can get from you right now. Like, what are you offering that people can get?
Right now, we actually have most of all our beers on tap, except for two of the favorites. So we still have blondes. We have 3 different IPAs and a double IPA. We have some lagers. We just ran out of that salsa.
Yeah.
We probably make that again here soon. But most of it, all our taps been able to stay full, and we actually about to start brewing. We got 4 beers in the lineup to brew here this coming week soon.
Okay.
So
You guys are still, I mean, production wise, it seems like you're still moving ahead pretty well.
yeah, we're still moving. It's just 2 of us too, so just me and James. Like you said, we could do things with a very small crew. So
Mhm.
just me and James are here brewing and getting stuff done.
Yeah.
And,
Can we get like a little tour of what's going on behind you or?
right now, I have Elise here. She's out because I have no idea how to get on Instagram until now.
So here's a shot. We actually have somebody come and do a pickup right now.
Dude, you guys are booming. You got the online sale, you got somebody stopping by, like, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Tim said, the cool thing is, and there's one of our beer tenders, Elise, in the back. So we're starting. The cool thing is we are starting to get the crew back to work, and we just started that this week.
Nice.
So that's been great.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great to hear. So how many taps do you guys typically have on?
12.
12. Typically, we have 12. Right now, I think we're still at 12.
We had 13 actually.
Oh, well, we got 13 beers.
Man, you guys are, I won't say this is like the best thing that's ever happened to you, but I'm like, you're nailing it. I love what you're doing. You're handling it like bosses.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hell yeah.
It's been challenging though. It's been challenging.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, hopefully you guys can, keep it up and keep people coming in there, get the word out, get new people, get some, old regulars and stuff like that. But where can people find you on social media and stay up to date with everything?
So on social media, you just go to CV Brewery. And then if you go to our website at chulavistabrewery.com, you can also click the link and you can order beer online. You can order merch. And you can also catch up and see what we're doing. So and also on Instagram and Facebook is a link as well to order online. We actually about to hit our 3-year anniversary next week.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
we got that coming up, and so we're gonna try to do a special for that. We still actually been doing a lot of online presence on our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Lanita night, basically the night we had on Fridays, which was very packed, and we now do it on Instagram, so people can kind of envision themselves still at the brewery on Friday nights having a good time at home.
Awesome.
and we
Yeah.
and we hold stuff like yoga too once a month on our Instagram as well. So pretty much everything we still did at the brewery, we still do it on Instagram, so people can still enjoy it as if they were at the brewery.
Hell yeah, man. I haven't quite, I'm a yoga person and I haven't quite like managed to pivot onto like doing it online because I really need somebody there to like shame me into trying. So I'll have to tune in and then reward myself with a beer afterwards,
Yeah, definitely.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for checking in with us. Best of luck to you. And shit, man, I'm coming down to check you guys out. You guys are on fire, I guess. So
All right, cool. Thank
the
you.
next big thing.
All right, cheers.
All right. Cheers.
All right, bye.
All right. That was Tim and James from Chula Vista Brewing. Hell yeah. I have not been down there yet. And I feel like this has introduced me to something I've really been missing out on. So I'm going I'm gonna head down to South Bay one of these days and check out what they're doing IRL. But yeah, happy 3 years to you. So, well, real quick. I love the people tuning in with the comments, and by people I mean Jacob Nikos, who we need to get on here one of these days. But I know that he has started his own Instagram live show, so we'll have to do a little collaboration. But in the meantime, we've got Jeff from Burning Beard ready to go. I see you commenting on there, so I know you're ready. Let me just add you. Oh, you're not on. Well, let me see. You're supposed to be on the official Burning Beard one, but since I know you are, it doesn't really matter. We'll get you on there anyway. I think people know who Burning Beard is. Burning Beard is? Yeah. What's that?
I don't know how to work that stuff.
No. Immediately no. What is this?
I'm encouraging social distancing with my face.
It's you sold. Yeah, I need to give back. I can't talk too much smack though, because I've been seriously debating just like going for it and just like completely shaving my head, because now seems like the time. But
yeah, well, I mean, maybe maybe a hole in my Facebook group. I created. Do you know the?
I already know what you're gonna say, and I ignore all of those invitations to all of the Armageddon groups.
No. It's not an Armageddon. It's not Armageddon. This time had me pondering the awesomeness of San Diego beer, and to who do we owe the most, right? In San Diego. Yes, that's right. Pat motherfucking Mickleham.
The man with the plan. Okay, so do you know that I have like a genuine crush on Pat?
I did not, but you should join this group, because what I'm doing is Samson and Delilah, the magical powers of San Diego beer are tied in that Fu Manchu that Pat is sporting every day.
Yeah.
And so I figured the best, if it's good enough for San Diego beer, perhaps it's good enough for the health of the world and the coronavirus. We just need to get enough of these Fu Manchus together. And that's what this group is all about. We could not only get back to work and making beer and hanging out in tasting rooms, but we could probably maybe start making good IPAs again. I don't know. It could be a thing.
That seems like a really tall order, so...
You know what we could do, though? We start with this. Everyone can do that.
Start with a mustache next the world.
That's right.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness. I have nothing to contribute to either of those other than a consumer of both mustaches and beer, so I'll be sure to do my wartime effort with consumption. But let's backtrack real quick. I have a feeling most people probably know who you are, but let's do a little intro, who you are, who you're with, etc., etc.
Okay. Jeff Whitaker, Burning Beard. I'm a Leo. I enjoy bike riding, snowboarding, the yoga. I have not done the online yoga.
Namaste.
I enjoy canning beer, records, bizarre memorabilia.
Yeah.
And Blind Lady.
So I heard a rumor that Blind Lady might be reopening on a limited basis for some like produce boxes or something like that. Confirm, deny?
All I can tell you is what I heard from Lee yesterday. So,
which seems like a valid source, so I'll take it.
Right? Lee who though, right? It could just be some random Lee.
Lee Bob down the street.
That's right. So he's telling me that it looks like maybe pizza is prepared for you to take home and bake.
Right.
With they're going to start. They have I think kind of a crowler version of 16-ounce cans. They're going to start canning things they have there. So Yeah, we were trying some beers yesterday. It should be awesome, and the place is a weird ghost town of upside down chairs, and it's really bizarre for a place that it's like my go-to spot, and it's like a weird ghost town, man. And we need to make sure those guys don't go out of business. So buy those pizzas, buy that beer.
Deal. Well, I was just in Burning Beard. I feel like I've not gone out my like pretty immediate radius too much. I'm trying to stay, and you guys are like sort of local enough for me. So I am very pleased that you have managed to keep the package stuff cranking out.
We got really lucky.
Yeah.
Just had some of it planned right before all this happened, so we just lucked out.
Talk to me about the cool ship saison that you promised me very recently, because I need for it to be in my mouth.
Oh, yeah. Well, lucky for you. What is the famous rhyme? Saison. So it'll be around for quite a while. Yeah, but we have rebrewed Song of Orpheus, which is our homage to Orval, trying to make a beer that you can serve young, that'll age, and as it ages, it'll transform. But yeah, we did the full-on turbid mash, knocked it out into the cool ship. We underpitched with a little bit of saison, French saison strain, and then with our house mixed culture, Brulanta Meteo, we have that in there. It's right now aging in stainless. We're just kind of waiting for an audience to drink it.
So it's not on yet. It's not available yet.
No, not at the moment. Maybe 4th of July. That would be a good time, I imagine.
Well, my birthday is tomorrow. I have repeatedly asked for saisons, but I guess sure I'll wait for 4th of July.
Well, if you come by, you could have the other saison we have that's on. Fortunately, we had a nice brew day with some friends. We knocked it out on some white wine pumice. Beautiful, really unique beer. That is on. Sadly, it's not to go, so don't come by and have it. Never mind. The carb's too high on it. Come by so that we can disappoint you.
Oh, just twist the knife.
Yes, bring your own growler. Come by, ask if we'll fill it.
What is it, 1992? How many growlers do people have anymore?
Well, that's just what I was saying. Bring your own growler. We're going to disappoint you. We're going to tell you we can't fill it because you can't. Can I have the saison? No, you can't have that either. Get out.
I'll just stock up on more circle hops if I have to.
Yes, please.
Which is like totally fine. So, well, I know you're like a gigantic music nerd. Did you watch the Post Malone Nirvana set?
I watched some of it, yeah.
It was really good.
It was not bad at all. Post Malone's really growing on me. It's a lot like Jacob Nikos.
But he's literally growing on you like a Belial type situation.
Right. Well, it's like everywhere you look, like there's that guy. And
I'm sorry, I offended him by talking smack about the Armageddon groups, but if there was like one, I'd be interested, but since there's 7,000, I just can't. It's all or nothing, and I chose nothing.
As far as I'm concerned, there is just one. It's the hug Armageddon. We need to get back to the hugs.
Maybe that's what you invited me to, and I was prophetically ignoring it, but now I'm regretting that because I could like really go for a hug.
Right? Exactly. My typical social distance is 0.
Oh yeah.
As most of you know.
You're a toucher, that's for sure.
I am. That's why I'm growing this. It's to remind me.
To balance things out.
It's like when you wear gloves, that doesn't keep you from touching your face. It just reminds you not to.
Yeah.
And then when people see this, they instantly cringe, and then I go, oh yeah, stay away from those people.
It's easier to recoil in horror.
It is.
Okay, well, regrettably, we have to wrap this up because it's almost time for Cody from Beer Night in San Diego, which is also great. But until next time, where can everybody find Everything Burning Beard online?
Wow. Burningbeardbrewing.com is the place to go. Yeah, we have cans. We did some lovely canning, all of these things. We have wild ales on there. We have kegs. Stop by the taste room. You'll see Shannon or Dylan, Tyler, or I might be ghosting around the back. I recommend you come into the taste room. That's what you should do. But we do some personal delivery. We have flats discounted for those deliveries. So yeah, if you want to get creeped out, order online, and I might deliver. Shannon might deliver. If Shannon delivers, she's going to paint one of these on. So either way, you're going to be creeped out by our invitation.
I'm not ready for people to know where I live, but I'll keep it in mind. If I can get a guaranteed Shannon delivery, I would consider it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I apologize for following you home the other day.
No. On that note, thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
All right. Osteoporosis.
All right, that was Jeff from Burning Beard Brewery, brewer extraordinaire, and just good dude, bad mustache, but we're all finding our own grooming ways right now in quarantine, so Godspeed to him. All right, we're going to finish things up with the folks at Beer Night in San Diego, San Diego's longest running beer podcast, and I think it's Cody. I think Cody and I were the ones chatting online about this, so I'm just going to assume it is, because he's the man. Cody's the man. There he is.
I can't believe you bumped Jeff for me.
Well, we gotta be egalitarian in these days.
You're about to have the worst. This might be the worst ratings ever.
No, don't. It's too self-deprecating. How could the host of the longest running beer podcast in San Diego? I don't think so. I don't buy it. You're being humble.
Well, we'll see. But I did bring a friend.
Oh, what's the friend?
A special guest is here. He wanted to say hi to Jacob Nikos because he knows he's watching.
He is definitely watching. He's always watching.
Norm from Friends. He's drinking a great beer. So he wanted to say hi to Jacob Nikos.
Hi. I'll just answer for him until the comments they take like a few minutes to come through, but I'm sure he'll chime in.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, happy early birthday, by the way.
Thank you. I'm glad it is not 40. My brother-in-law turned 40 last week, and I was like, that sucks, because you should, 40 is a blowout. 40, you need to have a big party.
That's a big number.
Yeah, mine's relatively not exciting, so it's fine. I'm just gonna order from Fort Oak because I hadn't been there and it seems fancy, and get a Cold Stone ice cream cake.
Hey, there you go. Can't beat that.
Yeah, it's fine. And I'm just gonna I'm just gonna make my husband watch my kid all day so that I can just I don't know, read.
Solid plan.
Something.
Solid plan. And I did do a quick wardrobe change because you were talking party shirts, so I went and put a party shirt on for you for your birthday.
Thank you. I mean, nothing says quarantine like ordering a new blouse from Anthropologie, which is what I did. So, don't take any advice from me.
No, I'm going to take that advice every day, all day, because we still need to feel good even though we're stuck at home.
It's true. It's true. But I feel like we jumped right into it. Let's do a quick intro, who you are, what you do, where we can find you, etc.
I am Cody. I'm the host of Beer Night in San Diego podcast, and you can find us at beernightinsandiego.com, Beer Night in San Diego on Instagram, and then the podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher, all the places the podcasts are available.
Give me a little background of the podcast, like when it started, why it started, and kind of where you've come since then.
So it started off initially as just writing blog posts about local beer and then a few other things, but we switched mainly to beer, obviously, as most people know. And then I was actually at Comic-Con one day, a couple years ago, I was at Comic-Con for a specific day, and in a panel, Kevin Smith was talking about podcasting and all that, and it just kind of sparked something in me, and I started one that weekend. It was 2013, I think, is when we did it.
The golden age of podcasts.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we couldn't not do it, I guess. I don't know. It became more fun being able to sit around with friends, get to know people, and have a little bit more of a personal connection instead of just typing alone and then I mean, it was a blog that I'm sure no one even looked at the time. So the podcast just became a way for us to hang out with people and get to know people. And it's been a huge blessing just because we've been able to make friends and get to know people that we otherwise wouldn't if we weren't out,
Yeah.
seeing people and talking to people and getting to know all the cool folks in San Diego. So it's been really, really cool to do that.
Oh yeah. Well, what have some of your favorite like guests or segments been over the years?
Well, you've been on the show, so I mean, of course, favorite segment ever right there,
I mean, the
Can't
gimme.
beat it. Right.
So in a
No,
distant second place.
right. We were able to sit down with Tommy Arthur. That was pretty amazing. I mean, we never thought that our little show would ever get his attention where he'd actually be willing to sit down with us. So that was very cool. But every time we sit down with anyone, we're always like giddy about it. I wouldn't say that we've ever had anybody that we're like, should we even do this? Every time we sit down with someone, we're always so excited about it and we're so pumped to learn their story. That's the whole point of it, is not talking about us as much, but telling other people's story in San Diego beer. That's why we do that. Well, Jill is on right now. She's been on the show. She's loved Jill. And so
Yeah, she's awesome.
yeah. So the people that, make this industry what it is, we're just pumped to be able to get to know them and tell their story and promote their product and get it out there. That's the whole reason we exist.
I love it. Yeah, you guys' just like positivity and support of the scene has gone on for just such a long time. You've just been so like consistently supportive of everybody, kind of no matter what. I really admire that about what you guys have accomplished and what you continue to do. But one of the things that I think has been really great, specifically recently, like during COVID-19, is keeping track of, all of the different breweries and their different statuses, like, who's open, who's closed, everything like that. I mean, you guys have been a real resource for the community. So you guys, I mean, I feel like you jumped on that, but quick, talk a little bit about how things have changed during COVID-19, just for you and the podcast in general.
Well, as soon as I work in an industry outside of beer and podcasting where I'm kind of getting updates pretty quickly about what's going on in the state and all that. And I sort of saw this coming just from some communications outside of beer so I sort of had an idea what was coming. And we discussed it, and Tom, who does our show, obviously, he hasn't been on in a bit because he's actually an essential frontline worker. He's still out busting his hump and in front of a lot of people. So he's at home kind of taking care of himself and doing his thing. But Mike and Noah, who are watching, who are also do the show with me, we all spoke, and we were like, how can we help at this time? We don't own breweries. We don't make beer. We don't sell beer. But our whole goal is to help the industry and promote the industry. How can we do that in this time? And as soon as all these new options started coming up, like delivery, online ordering, shipping, curbside pickup, and all that, we were thinking, well, we should continue the show. Let's do these systems that people are putting in place. If there's someone who listens to our show that might not be comfortable going and doing this, we can go on and tell them, like, I'm drinking this Carlsbad Crush right now. So for the beer and for the segment. And so we can go on and say, hey, this is what Virgin is offering. We're showcasing this beer on the show this week. This is how you can get it. And this is what our experience was when we went and picked it up or had it delivered. And we can tell people it was safe, it was clean. You don't have to worry about this and that. Like we have a new episode coming out in about an hour. And the big showcase we did this week was Burning Beard.
Nice,
So we went down and got a bunch of Burning Beard beers, and so on the show, we talk about how we did it, how it was done, and how safe it was, so people know they can go out and still support these local breweries, and they don't have to be worried about it, and they can be comfortable knowing they're supporting and still keeping them and their families safe. So that's kind of what we decided our role was going to be in this time, is just continue supporting the way we always have. That's the only reason we exist. If it wasn't for the local breweries, we wouldn't do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I know it's impossible to kind of predict what the future holds or what the scene is going to look like after this, but what is kind of your take as somebody who's kind of observing what's going on? What do you think that the future of San Diego beer is going to look like, whether in a very realistic, like, logistical sense, or in kind of an abstract sense in thinking about the community? Like, what are some of your predictions?
I don't know. It's hard to say because we've talked on the show a little bit about, this is turning into a lot longer and a lot darker of a tunnel than I think anyone expected.
Yeah.
And once you get to a point where you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, I'm just hoping that all our brothers and sisters meet us at the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been kind of what we wanted our role to be, is just to do our part to make sure that places are still getting supported. They still have people coming in, they're moving product, and how they're raising money, so that when we do get to the end of this tunnel and the light starts shining on all of us, we can all be there together. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I would like to see. So I will say my prediction is that, because I don't want to see anything other than that.
Absolutely. I love it. You're putting it out in the universe. You're doing the secret. I think it's going to come back to us. I'm feeling, as the days go on, I'm trying to feel cautiously optimistic, but I feel like the fact that so many people have been able to hang on, whether it be closing and just like weathering the storm, behind closed doors, or, keeping it going with to go and delivery and stuff like that. I think that I've been heartened by how people have been able to react to this. So I'm with you. I'm feeling hopeful. I think we're going to come out of this the other side stronger and better than ever. So that'll be great.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show. I think Noah asked me a similar thing, like, what do you think's going to happen? And I said, kind of what you're going into is, I'm not putting out in the universe the negativity that could possibly come if this goes on for another year or something. I want to make sure that we continue to put positivity in the galaxy, so that hopefully our brothers and sisters, we're all hugging and cheersing each other when this comes to an end. That's what it's all about.
Well, speaking of putting positivity into the galaxy, any thoughts on UFOs being legitimate?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you brought that up. I was trying to write a little note to myself for things as you were talking with other people, and UFOs was one of the things I brought up. I haven't read into it as much as I want to, because it's been kind of a crazy busy day aside from what we're doing now. I need to read into it more, but I mean, didn't you always know that there was something out there? And now it's just great to know that we were always right. And now maybe we can all party together when this is over.
I'm just like, abduct me. I'm right. Like, now is a great time. It's
get us off this planet. Let's go somewhere else.
Amen, brother. All right. As long as we can bring some San Diego beer with us, I'll be all set.
Well, we can go do the first Moon IPA or the Mars Red Ale or something. Red Planet Red Ale. Anybody?
I'm down. Free
that
beer
would work.
Name. There you go.
That would work. And next time I see you, I'll have a Saison for you. I have one in the fridge ready for your birthday. Don't even worry about it. I'll find a way to get it to you.
We'll virtually cheers tomorrow.
There you go. We got it.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Best of luck, and we'll talk soon.
Of course. And I don't know if a lot of people ask you, and I know you need to go, but I do want to ask, how are you doing? You ask everyone else how they're doing. How are you doing?
Thank you. That is very sweet of you. I am okay. I feel like today is okay. I genuinely love doing these check-ins because I'm a little bit of an introvert. I mean, I'm I have a personality, but I prefer to do solitary things. I like to read, I like to do yoga, what have you. And so my norm is when I go out, like Beer Week is like my favorite, because I feel like it really energizes me, like it gets me excited about beer again and stuff like that. And I feel like that, at first I was kind of wallowing in not being able to do that kind of stuff, but I feel like these check-ins every week have kind of done that in like little shots of adrenaline in the arm every week. And so it's kind of given my life a little bit of purpose right now, because I'm not able to, write as much. And I feel I defined myself as a beer writer first and foremost. And so when that was kind of taken away from me in a very big way, that it was, I floundered a little bit, but I think I have found my footing. And, just logistically, like my family's fine. Like nobody's sick. Like we've got food. It's all good. So I'm feeling grateful for those things. And, I appreciate you asking. That's very kind.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Well, keep up the great work, and we'll all be seeing each other soon.
I hope so.
The light from the tunnel is peeking through. We can all feel it, and we'll get there.
We'll get tackled by Jeff with his hugs soon enough. So
absolutely, yes. So you'll be on that Facebook page whether you like it or not.
Okay, fine. I'll accept this invite. Well, cheers for now.
Thanks for having me. This was really cool. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good rest of your Wednesday.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up right now. Just to reiterate, if you have any, questions or resources needed, please go to sdbeer.com. San Diego Brewers Guild is here and available and ready to help everybody in the San Diego beer scene during this time. If you see something, if you would like to add a resource to the Brewers Guild website, please email info@sdbeer.com. They'd be happy to add it to the list of resources and make sure that the community is aware of whatever new thing you're putting together. So please do tune in again next week. We do these every week, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Next week, we've got, a whole new crew of people from San Diego Beer lined up. So be sure to tune in, and we'll be announcing who those are in the next couple of days or so. In the meantime, I am Beth Demon on behalf of the San Diego Brewers Guild. Please follow us at just SD Brewers. And then my personal one is at The Delighted Bite on Instagram and at Delighted Bite on Twitter if you would like to tune into my rantings and ravings. But in the meantime, I'm going to go bust open another Pilsner. I'm going to watch the new Run the Jewels video, and I'm going to go paint with some glitter paint with my kids. So thank you so much for tuning in. SD Beer Forever, and we'll check you next week. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye. Cheers.